Woo! What the heck was that?
What was that?
What was that?
That's so wide.
I didn't change it.
No.
No, I mean, you can shrink it if you want.
Wow,
I mean,
this is.
I'm gonna finish eating my apple. So, oh yeah, way better. There you go. Bubba, you're in the comments talking about the Lake Mead situation. There's some YouTubers that I've been following that have been doing like weekly, almost every couple day reports on the situation there in Lake Mead. I was showing you the other day, the boat sticking out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's insanity, man. That is insanity. Because, I mean, we were just there in February.
Yeah.
We got to go and take pictures, hang out with Brian. So, yeah, if you guys haven't seen it, oh, man, do some YouTube searches for Lake Mead. And, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're definitely running out of water.
What's up, Car Gift?
What's up?
All right, let's
I
start.
found an apple in the back of the refrigerator because we're going on vacation. I don't want to leave it. So, I mean, it's an apple, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
So, I'm going to enjoy my apple.
Hey, enjoy your apple.
He just ate a peach.
I did.
Keep all your digits. I'm going to try. Matchers or lighters? Lighters. I mean, lighters.
Yeah, lighters. Sorry.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love to light a whole book of matches on fire as much as the next guy.
It was fun playing with those.
A lot of fun, but
yeah, it was.
I also like a lighter. Personally, I'd much rather have a torch. It's like 4th of July, plumbing torch.
Okay.
That's all I use.
All right.
Because, man, I'm lighting like 10 bottle rockets on fire at the same, just at the same time.
I have one of those that's like a Walmart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You just like click.
No, I got butane torch, man. And I always break the legs on the bottle rockets shorter, which is funny because it's a bad, like, Florida man thing to do. Yeah. Because they usually go short and aim right towards everyone that's standing watching them, and they all got to run. But, hey, keep you on your toes, right? Good evening, all. 103.
What's up?
Jesus, look at that. 104. Y'all win, man. Forget that.
Hey, Dean.
Hey.
You should give it a try.
No, not a chance in hell.
Really?
Crocs? No. Listen. I wear these silly things. Okay?
The big gloves.
The foot gloves. And that's as exciting as my life is going to get. I can't.
I don't think that was excited, but
I can't go down to Crocs, man. For those who don't understand or know what we're talking about with the whole Croc thing, Boring Life of Dean and Haley here on YouTube.
Check it out, man. Check it out. What are we talking about here? Sebastian is gonna wear Fernando. Oh, yes, no kidding.
What's that?
Like Sebastian is gonna wear me out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you got one more night.
It's
you got one more night
enjoying it
before you have to go out and see him.
Gargif.
Oh God.
What's up? Oh, Fuego 65.
So if any of you guys caught the Instagram earlier today, it was pouring.
What's up?
And
where? Here?
We had a flood in the stock room. So that's why Fernando came over in a panic trying to grab the shop vac that we have that sucks.
Literally,
totally
panicked. I was panicked.
He was panicking. I, of course, was not. I was just calm down, little man. But then we had to go over there for the next hour and just kind of like move shit around. So it actually worked out really well because we got to fix that one shelf that broke.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you for the 5 and happy birthday, buddy.
Enjoy
your day.
Dean's Flintstone shoes. Yabba dabba do.
Those shoes kill me.
Yeah, they're not for everybody. I can tell you right now, they're not for everybody.
They're not for everybody.
My doctor said to me the other day, he goes, "Oh, those don't bother your feet." Why would I wear them if they bothered my feet?
Because you like to be in pain.
I mean, I like pain as much as we're on a boat. I like pain as much as the next guy.
Now we're crooked.
No, we're not. No, we're perfectly fine.
Totally crooked.
Totally fine. Still hoping and praying you have a new GM truck video in the future. 2018-19 classic body truck. Anything's possible.
We hoping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got a backlog of stuff coming in after this, so get through this. Did Fernando donate his beard hair to someone who can't grow facial hair? I was thinking more pubic hair.
There you go. Something. No, I didn't.
Yeah. What's up, DIY audio guy? How's it going? Dean climbs Rockies. Actually, I was climbing the stockroom shelves with these shoes on because
which is like grabbing everything like a monkey.
Yeah, I was totally like a monkey. You saw that?
Dude,
just got 1 inch. It's all I need, man. It ain't like a normal shoe.
Hey, fellas.
Hey.
Have you had a chance to listen to Mosconi 430? Any thoughts on the high bias technology?
We have not had a chance. That is actually like on the top of the thing to do when we get back from vacation. However, if you stay tuned till at the 10-minute mark, we are going to go over to the Fernando cam, and we have it with the top off. So
surprise!
We're going to show you guys what it looks like naked. And for those of you that don't know, we're talking about the Mosconi Pro / 430. Mm-hmm. And if you want to follow along, you can do that at mosconi-america.com. But yeah, we're going to head over to the bench. We took the top off. It's really cool looking inside. So, and if you're a Star Trek fan, this is the collector's item for you. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right. What? All right.
Let's ride.
You're what's his?
Yeah, that was Kevin Hart. Sorry.
Oh, is that Kevin Hart? I was thinking of the tall Texas dude. What's his name from? Yeah. Anyway, Wolf of Wall Street.
It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
How do I run 2 key locks together? I'm running Kenwood 1001 monoblock to the 212 Excellence AF 150.4 to fronts key 200.4 to the rears is a 2021 Civic Hatch EX with 2 sets of Infinity perfect components.
So all right. So wait a minute, 2 key locks together.
I'm running a Kenwood 1001.
All right, so and then we have an AF 150.4 to the fronts and a key 200.4 to the rears. All right, well, I mean, all right. As far as the key locks are concerned, it's pretty straightforward. I'm assuming that the factory radio is a 4-channel output, so you'd put 1 key lock on the front, 1 key lock on the rear. You run their software independently, and that's it. It's as simple as that. You just front and rear, go through the steps to program this one. Front, left, right, and then put the rears into the next one, left, right, run the software. And that's as far as it goes. You take the RC outputs from the front, go to your front amp, take the RC outs for the rear, go to your rear amp. Now, the key 200.4 on the rear is really where the problem is going to come in. You can run, so if you're going to run that, you're going to have to put the you're going to have to put the microphone on the rear seat headrest, run the software for it, make sure that the front and sub are off, and then turn off time alignment because it's not really made to do an active rear seat. So it's gonna do weird things. However, it will run the software and EQ it and add the high pass crossover for the tweeter because it can only do that through the software. So after that, you're going to be turning off the time alignment because that's going to be all goofy. Mm. But you're going to be that's going to be one of those things where you may have to do some trickery with the rear outputs of the radio. So, and what I mean by that is if you want the EQ to work, you may need to screw with the EQ a little bit on the radio and do what we call the reverse setting. So hop into the back seat, listen to it. If it's too bright or too left or left and right, you're not gonna have to worry. It's too bright, too deep, whatever. Work the radio to get plus or minus whatever you need, and then flip it. So like if you needed to go +3 on the tweeter or -2 on the tweeter, you flip it, run the software again, and then you put them back to 0. That way it won't affect your balance and fader when you go back up to front. So that's really the tough one. I mean, you could use it as a straight amp and just turn all that stuff off, but you will have to run it to get the high pass crossover for the for the tweeters, if that's how you're planning on doing it.
Happy birthday, Edward. You guys prefer the KS or CS for budget?
Take your hand off of your mouth.
For budget installs.
I mean, depends what the budget is. I mean, that's kind of a silly question. If you got money for KS, you buy KS. I mean, that's how that goes. You always buy the better speaker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but don't get me wrong. The CS is a fabulous speaker. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
You definitely get more sound than what you're paying for with the CS. Like if I only have CS money, like and I have options of like that price point speakers, I'm buying the CS because they're pretty cool. Relays.
All right.
How many accessories can one relay operate? That depends on the current draw. So each relay has a amount of amperage that it can pass through it. Standard Bosch style relay is usually between 30 and 35 amps. So as long as whatever you're turning on is below that, then all you need is one. Now, but you have a standard big Bosch relay. I prefer to go down to the smaller 10 amp relays. That way, because most of the time you're only turning on 1 amp. An amp draws 500 milliamps, so you can turn on basically 20 amplifiers or 20 things that draw 500 milliamps because it's half an amp. So you just need to know how many amps you're drawing.
How many amps you're drawing? There you go.
Hello from Romania.
Hello, Adrian.
All right. I know 2016 Ford Focus RS without Sony amplifier. I installed a DSR1 with the DFO2 harness, and it didn't work to set the radio to amplifier mode. Any ideas? Thank you. No, that should have worked. However, I will say this. iData, if you haven't called them, has an amazing tech support, and I mean amazing tech support. They're very patient and they're very thorough. So if it's not working the way it's supposed to, I do strongly recommend calling them because they'll walk you through it. I mean, and if it doesn't work after they're done with it, then it's never going to work. So I would definitely give them a call to find out. I will say in the end, though, even if it doesn't, the Ford tune isn't terribly hard to get around, meaning you can work with it. So yeah. We went to Tijuana Flats. That was fun. All right, why don't you head over there real quick and we'll
ready?
Yep, we'll do it. So if you want to star some of those so we don't forget, go ahead and hit the star. You know, it's a little that there you go. See, that's all you got to do. It's pretty cool.
I'm trying to figure it out.
What are you trying to figure out? Yeah. All right, well we'll figure it out when you get back. Okay. Sure.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Just click start. There you go.
Hang on.
All right. What you? Go ahead, take your time.
I'm taking my time.
Okay.
Perfect. All right.
That look good? Hey guys, so let me. Oh, see, could have done away with that. Let me hide this right here. So this sponsor is brought to you by Mosconi. Find Mosconi products just like that. Can you tip that in just a little bit more?
Tip it?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So this is the Pro 4. No, like get all the way up in there. Like, don't show the front. Show the full. Get as flat on the circuit board as you can. Keep going. No. Not. I didn't say zoom in. Pan up and go like straight down. Okay. Right there. That's what we're looking for. All right, so this is the Mosconi Pro 430. And as I said, this is the Star Trek collector's item. If you pan to the left a little bit there, Fernando, you can zoom in on that right bad boy. For those of you that are Starfleet fans, you'll know that is a Star Trek tribute. And then in the top left-hand corner, if you zoom in, your other left, the other left, that's your right. Go zoom in top right there. Go straight in to the little warthog. See it right there? A little bit closer. It says dedicated to Nicholas. That's pretty cool. There you go. Look at that. How awesome is that? I wonder who Nicholas is. Now, if you want to just do a slow pan across the top of it, you guys can really get Oh, you can stay that close. That was pretty cool. So this is just the layout of the amplifier, as you can see. They keep it nice and open for heat as well as noise. Put a lot of effort into laying out the amplifier. The little plug there is for the LED that's in the Mosconi logo. Of course, you got the 2 fans. We're going to do a full unboxing review on this. However, we just thought, why not? It's Saturday. Who doesn't like to look at the inside of an amplifier, especially one this clean and tidy? I mean, look, for those of you guys who have seen lots of internals on amplifiers, this is pretty sexy. Pretty sexy. Beam me up, Mosconi, right? No doubt. Yeah. Try to go more vertical on it. I want to show the little check marks.
Check marks.
Yeah, there's 2 check marks there on the right-hand side, right there, those guys. That says test, pass, and fail. So each one of these amplifiers is hand checked, and then on the amplifier they print the little check marks so you can tell that it has been toyed with. So, all right. Yeah, I think we're good. Ooh, why don't you go let Sean in so he doesn't have to sit out there and look like a homeless person in front of our door. All right. We'll come back. Who's Nicholas? I know. I need to find that out. I really do want to find out who Nicholas is. So I have not seen anything as a Star Wars stamp. I know. Pretty bummer, right? Are there any warp cores there? Pretty much. Nice and clean. The thing I love about the Pro Amp, that Mosconi Pro line, is how well they lay it out and how, like, I love tight amplifiers like the one there because it's small and everything's compact. I can appreciate that, but I like room. I like room to move.
All right.
Nicolas Cage. I was thinking like Nick Wingate, but I don't know. I don't know anyone that would call him Nicholas. Hello guys. I seen you worked on a black Prelude and you put a full Alpine system. Yes. What type of stereo kit did you use to mount the radio? I hear some kits are not good. So Pack makes, or I'm sorry, well, it is Pack, pack.com or which is where you can find it. But they make the 830 kit, which is the doubled-in kit for that. When the kit is done, it is a very nice kit. However, getting to that point is a pain in the butt. Oh, I hate building the kit. You do need to do sanding, a lot of gluing. Like you need CA glue to do it right. You need an X-Acto knife. It is no kidding like building a model. And when you're done, the kit looks really nice. Now, Metra does make a much simpler kit. However, if you can get through the work that you need to put into the 830 kit, the 830 kit is probably the better deal as far as how solid it is and how good it looks in the dash. But yeah, it is a pain in the butt. There's no question about it. Are aftermarket car alarms a thing of the past? Are factory alarms good enough now? Man, that is a great question, and I don't really know. I feel they are. However, I guess it just depends where you live and what your criteria is. Here in Florida, it doesn't snow. So, like, we don't run into a lot of the problems that the people do up north with, like, remote starts and locking the cars afterwards and doing all that fun stuff associated with that. So I feel the alarm business is basically turned into the remote start business because, I mean, that's what most of these guys do. But for us, it's pretty much a dead industry. But they're trying. They're trying to keep it alive. Another question about the Prelude. Do you need a bass knob if the Alpine radio can control the subwoofer? What's the benefits? Well, no, you don't need one if the radio has a subwoofer level control. The benefit is immediate turning up and down of the subwoofer. If you live in a state like ours where they just passed some dumbass laws saying you can't play your stereo loud, well, usually it's the subwoofer that is definitely the most noticeable. Being able to turn it up and down and doing, hey, roll, hey, me, man, hey, me, I play my stuff. You didn't hear nothing from me. Also, not, a lot of people like to ride that volume knob, meaning turning it up and down all the time, depending on what they're listening to. So it's just for ease of access. I'm good. Need to do the big three. Want to save on costs while I'm doing some upgrades. Will TO alternator welding cable be just as good as OFC, both copper? So there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Hi-Fi Vega. You can find him at the Hi-Fi Vega network, and he has done the most thorough wire breakdown between all the wire, everyone's brand, welding cable, the whole 9 yards. If you haven't taken the time to go over and watch that, I would strongly recommend doing that, because he's got a better answer than I'm going to have, because we're not even thinking about it. Like I'm not doing it on the cheap. I'm using the good stuff because we have customers that pay for it. So I've never bothered to do that, but he's a DIY guy and he does have to pay for it. So, and he also does offer big 3 upgrade kits. So you can buy them already made and he'll send them in a box. So something to think about there, but that's the Hi-Fi Vega network. Soldering gun recommendations. I don't like soldering guns because they never get hot enough and you got to hold the trigger. I did have one for years and I've switched to Hardco or whatever it is, but it is on DNF tool drawer. Hold on, that you can find. I'll show you exactly the one that we use. Where's it at? Hand tools, power tools. Is it power tools? Might be in power tools. Like that seems. Yep, there it is. So if you go to DNF tool drawer, this guy right here, the digital soldering. That's the one that we use. Fernando's got one. I've got one. But yeah, that's the guy. And then this power probe torch is what we use for all our heat shrink. But that's the guy. It's very reasonably priced. It's super reasonably priced. It's nothing too crazy. But I use that because you can leave it on all day. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can leave it on for a very long period of time. It's always hot and ready to go. Is my Kenwood DNX 996R XR enough of a DSP? No. But when you're comparing it to a DSP, the answer is no. When you're comparing it to the needs that you may have for your audio system, I can't answer that. The 4 things that make up a DSP, one of them is an EQ for every channel. And that does not have an EQ for every channel. It has a 13-band global EQ, which there again may be enough for you. It just depends. It's a solid piece. We use them all the time to do what your radios do. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what your criteria is, but when you're comparing it to a DSP, no, it is not enough to be. It doesn't play on the same court. Factory alarms are never good enough. Much better range and option going aftermarket. I would agree with that. However, I can unlock my car from across the world because I have a phone app from Ford that'll do that for me. So I don't need that. I also can, as soon as I walk away from the car with my top down, it automatically locks the car, locks the glove box, and does all that fun stuff for me. It'll roll down my windows. It does a lot and start my car. So, and it'll honk to tell me I've left my keys in it. It'll do all kinds of stuff. So, yes, aftermarket alarms are definitely pretty badass, but my world, I'm not seeing it. That's just my world. Everyone's world is a little bit different. So my needs are different than your needs. So I'm not knocking remotes or alarms. They're definitely, you can get better range. Speaking of DSP, any of them out there? Okay. Any of them out there have parametric on the input as well as output sides of the signal? Yeah, the Helix. The Helix, you can, with the new 5.0 software, you can break it apart any way you want, and their EQ is parametric, so you can have fun. It'll actually auto DEQ for you if you get the microphone. We're doing testing on that right now, having a lot of fun. But yeah, it'll do it. Yeah. And I think, I think the Virtuoso is the same way. I think the Virtuoso is all parametric through all 3 EQs. It might not be on the third one, but it's got to be on the other two. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I mean, with as much heat as they get. Is there any head unit option for a 2018 Honda Accord? Looking for something other than an epicenter to deal with the factory applied high pass. Okay, so to swap out the radio, no, there's nothing to do that quite yet that I'm aware of, other than maybe some Chinese thing. But it's an easy enough thing to fix. You get a key lock. The kicker key lock will fix it 100%, make it all go away. It won't even be a thing anymore. So if you get the if you get the key lock, is it still on here? I think it's still on here. What did I do with it? All right, hang on. Let me see if I can find it. I have a screenshot that I can show you. Let me do this. What you doing?
Huh?
What are you doing?
I'm just finding something that I need.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's he doing?
Who?
Goofball.
Oh, he's not here. He left.
Did he leave?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's coming back, he says.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
All right, kicker PowerPoint. There it is. Hold on. Hold, please. I'll show you what I'm talking about if this will open. It's just going to sit there and look stupid. Come on, open. You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's supposed to. Maybe take one for me while I figure out what the hell this is doing.
All right.
Wow, that's doing some stupid stuff.
Best speed wire. I can find the T-Spec audio. D-mod?
The stuff we did the review on.
Yeah. I mean,
they can't find it?
They can't find it.
Have they gone to a Metro dealer? Because there's Metro dealers everywhere.
Yeah. You go to the website and you can type the dealer locator and they can tell you.
Oh, wrong one. That one?
Yeah, it's this one right here. So
they have a dealer locator?
They do. I'm
trying to find it?
I'm trying to find my dealer locator.
All right. So while you're looking for that, I'll tag back in here. All right. So this is a key lock. So this is a Honda right here. That roll off that you're seeing, that's a Honda. That is a 100 hertz high pass crossover. So boom. And then when it runs, it looks just like that. Okay. So this is what you got going on in your car on the sub side. As soon as you apply the key lock to it, you'll have this. Now, you only have to hook the key lock up to the front two speakers. You don't have to worry about going off the rear or anything like that. So what would really be feeding your key lock is something more similar to this. And then when it's done, it's going to look like that. So to answer your question, you just need a key lock. It's like $129. You're in business, and it'll sound fabulous. Flossing. So yeah. All right. No. Sorry. All right. So let me do this real quick. Let's just finish up with these guys. Hey, there again. Thank you, Mosconi, for sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
Check out the new Mosconi Pro 430. It's 175 watts by 4 of pure sexy power. You can find it at Mosconi-America.com. Keep in mind, they have a bunch of other stuff. If you want to go 120 degrees the other way, they have the Atomo stuff, which is like small and compact and little tiny things with big DSPs built into them. So it's worth the walk over there if you haven't been to Mosconi-America.com and just thumb around. Just check it out. All right. Thank you, Mosconi, for being a sponsor of the show. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Hey
guys, I know you do audio control. I asked this question before, but didn't get an answer.
Sorry.
My LC 1.1500 gets very hot to touch without pushing it. And the fan is always on.
Yeah,
audio control says
I remember this question. We did talk about it quite a bit. So the reality is if the amplifier is getting hot, if they say it's normal, I mean, okay, in the owner's manual for the amplifier, it should tell you what the thermal regulation is for the fan. I believe it does. It'll tell you when the fan turns on. If you have one of those cool, aim it at it and see what the temperature is, if it's always hot, there's only a couple things that make an amplifier get hot: bad battery voltage, wrong impedance, or poor circulation, meaning you have it in an area where it's just not cooling off. So it's going to be one of those things. It's a 1500 watt amp. It sucks some power. So, and if you're beating on it hardcore, which doesn't sound like you are, then there's something else going on. It's just, it might not be getting the power it needs. You may need to add a second battery. Do you have a zero gauge going to it? That's another thing. That amplifier does require a zero gauge. I don't know. It's okay. I'm just throwing it at you what it could be. But I don't recall the amplifiers, when we do those, the fan staying on all the time, because like when you start up the car should not be hot enough to where the fan has to turn on. And it has a great warranty. So if you feel there is something amiss on the amplifier, then I would send it in and have them check it out. That would be the answer for that. I mean, that's what I would do.
Right.
And that's all I can recommend. Man, whatever happened to Sony? I think you mean Explode. I never had the pleasure of owning one, because Extant is a brand on its own. Sony had Explode. They discontinued the Explode line here in the United States, but they still have Explode overseas. Here they just have GS and now ES. In Europe, they have Explode as well. Extant was another amplifier line not brought by Sony. It was its own thing. So, and they, of course, just went by the way of the dodo bird. It happens. Can the Helix 8 do a differential rear fill left minus right? So the new 5.0 software has a whole different way of doing rear. They now have some effects that they do. But yes, I believe you can still do that in there, but you don't need to anymore, because they have a new processor specifically to do some fun stuff with the rear that you would do that in the past. You don't have to do that anymore because of the new software. That was one of the things we were talking about when we just did the BRAC system in the Porsche. When we were setting it up, we used the effect output on it, and it was really, really cool.
No, there's no Stinger sponsor.
Any idea what could cause an amp to power on but produce no sound? New amp, have signal, coming from RCAs. Thanks. Whew. I mean, how did we test the signal? Is going to be my first question. Did we throw a multimeter on there and test for AC current? That would be the easiest thing to do, is, put a test track in there, a specific tone that you're expecting the amplifier to play, put the voltmeter to AC, go to your RCA and check to make sure that there is indeed sound coming over it. If there is, then, I mean, there's not much else. It's like either the amplifier is somehow set up wrong, meaning it's like there's a switch that didn't get flicked. The input is in the output, or something goofy like that, which I'm sure you've checked those all 100 times. After that, there's really not much else to test, because it's pretty straightforward. One of the features of our IRTA that we use is specifically this problem. You could take the left and the right input, because it's a 2-channel. You can run an RC into left, the amplifier output into right, and flick the switches on and off, and see if signals indeed coming in and out of the amplifier, as because you can do a high level and a low level at the same time. That is one of the intended purposes of the tool that we've created, is to test for things like this, and have a visual. But no, other than what we just said, as far as using the digital multimeter, and if you've got everything, then it's just there's something wrong with the amplifier. And there again, you still have to make sure the amplifier has proper voltage. So sometimes in some amplifiers, you'll get a false remote turn on, like the ground is good, the remote turn on is good, and it turns on the light, but the power is bad. So definitely digital multimeter now, set to DC and check all your power, ground, and remote to make sure that they're all doing what they're supposed to do. And if you're curious what the IRTA is, you can find it at DNF Tool Drawer. That's dnftooldrower.com. And we have videos located down here at the bottom that kind of walk you through how to use it and do different things. So it's a pretty cool tool. And if you want to be an aspiring installer or like be the guy that all your friends go to, you might want to pick one up. You do need some form of an iDevice, and yes, it works with a Lightning connector.
That's right.
And that's exactly what it works with.
And they're not free.
Nope. Sorry. Got a vacation to pay
good.
for.
That was good.
What are the options to retain the factory backup camera on a 2014 Camry with aftermarket radio? I would just go to iData, which is I think what you were looking up.
Yeah,
there.
well, that was what I was. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Maestro RR. Yeah.
Maestro RR.
So if you head over to iData, which is iDataLinkMaestro.com, which you can kind of see at the top of the page there, and you type in your make, model, and year, all of the iData harnesses will retain the factory backup camera. So you just answer all the questions, and there you go. And that's what we would use on a Toyota. It's that good. You know, and it'll come with all the little pluggies and doodads and allow you to retain your steering wheel controls. And it doesn't matter if you have an iData compatible radio, it will work as just a generic smart harness to do all that fun stuff as well.
Right.
Nice. I like having the option of using the parametric for specific purposes, last in chain for speaker tuning, first in line to do correction for car interior, radio EQ for basic tone controls. Yeah. So one of the new features of the Virtuoso is that it does have 3 EQs built into it. You have a de-equalization, the equalization, as well as a global EQ in the very end, similar to what you're doing. So yeah, that's actually a really cool way of doing things. But yeah, the Helix now with the 5.0, you can break the EQ up in any way you want. You have 30 bands to go forth and be merry with. So you can use some of the bands to do de-equalization, and it'll segment those off, and it will, if you buy the mic, it will do it for you. So fun times.
It is fun.
2016 Tacoma planning a system out, definitely using a DSP, most likely Helix 8 Mark II DSP, 8-channel DSP. Would it be worth upgrading my stereo? Would you pick a Kenwood, Alpine, or Stinger? I'm just going to go with yes. It's 100% worth upgrading your stereo. Like the gentleman before you was just talking about, one of the cool features of having a DSP with an aftermarket stereo is once you've used the DSP to tune the car, as it were, get all the speakers to sound the way they're supposed to, having the aftermarket radio to be a global EQ for different types of music. You know, let's say you listen to talk radio in the morning on the way to work, but you listen to music on the way home. You know, being able to switch between those two is really kind of cool. But yeah, plus it's a Toyota, and they sound terrible. The factory radios in those just, especially 2016, 6-year-old radio, it's got to go. They make an upgrade. Now, Alpine, Stinger, Kenwood, whichever one you like the most. I mean, whichever one you think's look cool in your truck, get that one. They're all 3 great radios now. So, you know, Kenwood has will have the new 9 series coming out in the next couple months. Alpine just dropped their 507 and their 509 and the 511. And, of course, Stinger has their new dash kit for that car. So lots to choose from. What's up, Fro? Just watched a Hertz car audio commercial on YouTube.
Really?
Really? I mean, you sure it wasn't a rental car commercial? I think it was, you know, because we get them all with Tom Brady.
Oh, my God.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. God, he's such a whiner in those things.
Cool.
What ohm are the factory speakers in a RAM you were working on? I heard they're a mix on ramps, and you heard correctly. It depends on what system comes in it. A lot of the times, if it's a base model stereo, it could have a 4 or 8 ohm speaker in the dash. Depends on the year. As well as the door, it's typically a 4 ohm. But if it's the Alpine system, it's usually a 2 ohm, and it's a subwoofer, not a regular speaker. The rears are the same as the front, so whatever's in the front is in the back. But yeah, it can be a total weird scenario. As far as what that truck had in it, no idea. The factories weren't in there. They had aftermarket. And yesterday the other day when we worked on it, it also had aftermarkets in there. So yeah, good times as always. I have a 2020 Escape. Run! Oh, rumor is that amp installs can be difficult. It's a Ford. Have you installed amps in the 2020, 2022 Ford SUVs? Anything in particular I should know before installing amps? We've done the Explorers, and we've done the little pickup trucks. We've done the F-150s, but the Escape is it's kind of an oddity. It's a rare one here. I do like the Escapes. Haley's got the 2018, which I really, really like. The only oddity with the Fords is that they do need load resistors. And convenient enough, Audio Control is a sponsor, and they happen to make the load resistors you need. Let me go over here to accessories, and I will pull up the one that you need to get your hands on. There they are right there. Ooh, look at that. So we'll pull that up. So what you're going to need for that install is a set of these. These are the AC-LGD20s. These are load resistors designed to keep that factory radio playing and sounding good. So definitely want to pick up some of those. Now, I will say that depending on the system you're going to install, like if you're going to do a DSP or anything like that, like an Audio Control, they just happen to make, all the D-series amplifiers. You're still going to need those. So just keep that in mind. But yes, one of the coolest things that Audio Control does make. So, and PAC is coming out with all those T-harnesses.
Yes.
So you'll be able to plug right in for the ACLGGs. That's what Jeff was talking to us about the other day, because he was writing up paperwork to kind of explain to the sales guys how this works. So don't feel bad if you're like, what? Most of the sales guys don't have a clue on it either. It's all right. It's just, it's new stuff to them, I guess. With Alpine retiring the PDX V9 amp, they did that like 5 years ago. What would you recommend for an alternative? Thank you. They have a new version of it. I mean, they have a brand new version of it, brand new. So they had an old. There's actually a whole line of amplifiers that since the PDX V9 have come out and gone away, and then there's a new one replacing it. So we're actually on the second version of it. So it was 3 amps ago. The newest version of it is even better and even more sexy. So if you have to buy an amp today to go out and buy a 5-channel amp, then no, because the new one isn't available. You might want to check out the LC5 1300 from Audio Control. That's going to be very similar to PDX V9. A little bit more advanced, obviously, because it has a better high level, better gain capacity, as well as because the input sensitivity on those was terrible. Anything like 4.5, 5 volts, those amps would be like, stop. And then the network crossover capability was very limited too, meaning if you did decide to go tweeter mid sub with it, whatever you set, you couldn't do overlapping at all, or underlapping as it were, on the tweeters, whereas the Audio Control will give you the ability to do all of that, as well as some internal summing if you need it for hooking up. But I would check out the Audio Control LC5 1300 unless you're patient, you're a big Alpine fan, in which case I'd say either pick up the newest one in a couple months, or see what kind of deal you can get on the one that is kind of on its way out. I'm hoping you guys might have some insight into this. Why does the Brax DSP, while being a ACO product, not have the virtual routing path that the other ACO products like the Ultras have? It just comes down to when it was designed, how many of them they sell, and whether or not they're going to go back and redesign the whole product. It has nothing to do with, it's just a manufacturing thing, in the sense that it's like, we're only going to sell this many of these, and they're very expensive to make. So once it's designed and manufactured, it's going to sit on the shelf for a while. So it's what kind of happens is the high-end stuff sometimes doesn't evolve as fast as the more affordable stuff does. But, you know, little trinket features like that, they just, you know, and there again, it's not a little trinket feature. I'm just using that as just a generic term to describe why it doesn't have it. But it just has to do with that. It's like production. It would cost them way more money than they've actually made on the product to go back and redesign the whole product. It's just not capable of doing it yet. I'm sure if they come out with another version of it, but see, that's the other thing too, is it's technically a limited run. They're only going to build so many of those, and then it's out. Then they'll come out with the new one, and it'll probably have that. So the other thing too is the amount of money it's going to cost them to get it up to date. They want to make sure there's enough new stuff to do to it, or some stuff that they're inventing to do to it to make it better. Otherwise, it's just playing catch up, and that's no fun. Another scenario in which that specific thing came up is like with Rockford with their Power Series amplifiers. They haven't updated it in almost 20 years. You can still buy the 2500. You can still buy the 1500. You know, they haven't done anything to these things, but they've done incremental small changes behind them, but they still don't have distortion detection in it. They still don't have all these features that like the Punch and the Prime have. And the reasoning behind it is like, look, man, like they're expensive amplifiers already. And if we were to put the money into them to change them, like we don't sell a ton of these things. So they're never going to get out the money. So it's one of those things where it's like there is a point to where they'll change them. They just haven't reached it yet. So maybe they still might be trying to pay off the amount of money it costs to build them. Who knows? You'd think after 20 years they'd figure that out, though. Mm-hmm. Kenwood Exelon XR 107Ps or the Merrill Ultimo 6.5 602s. So I see you've pulled up. Oh, well, these are the 602 Mark IIs. You have the HEs pulled up.
I would put the HCs.
No, the 602 is the better speaker, though. So the regular Morel Maximo 602 Ultra is the upgrade to the HE. So the HE comes, so this is the HE right here. It comes with a basic crossover. The speaker that he's talking about, the regular Ultra, comes with the better crossover. So those are high efficiency. The regular Ultra has a bigger passive crossover in it. So see that one right there. So that's the one you're looking at.
This one?
Yeah. So that comes with not the 3-way set, but but they make a 2-way set like that. So, but see how it comes with the bigger passive crossover.
Really? These ones are better than the other ones?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they cost a little bit more because they have a bigger passive crossover. It's a very similar speaker. Like the tweeters are the same, but those have better passive crossovers than the HEs. That's why they're called high efficiency, because they've done away with, they use the natural roll-off points for the mid-range to, yep, that's them. So that's them right there. So they come with a better passive cross. That's still the 3-way set, but yeah, you get my point. Anyways, the question is between the 1701Ps and the Morel Maximos. I'm still going to go with the Maximos because I like that tweeter. That tweeter is super sexy. The XR, the new XR, is a very nice tweeter itself, but man, when you're comparing it to Morel, man, that's a tough one. I don't really have an answer. If you have room for the 6x9, then do that. But don't get me wrong. You got hairs that you're splitting here as far as how awesome. You're gonna love them both.
Saludos, Jose.
Any recommendations for the new 2022 GMC Sierra 1500? I need a system in there, but there are no options to replace the head unit. I know, right? There are no replacements for the head unit yet. That is the operative word, yet. So Stinger actually puts a high 10 in there. They have a way to put a high 10 in there, but they're not talking about it. So because you have to do some hardwiring. But you could probably call their tech support, and there might be somebody there that can talk you through the process and or maybe send you an email on how to do it. But you can put a high 10 in it. I haven't done it. I've just seen pictures. So, and when I asked, how did you guys do that? They just kind of laughed at me. So they've done it and they have the parts to do it, but you're not plugging in to do it yet. So yeah. Looking for high res audio head unit. Any thoughts? Kenwood. Sony,
Kenwood, Sony,
Alpine.
Yeah.
They all have it. I mean, what specifically do you want would be the next question.
Yeah.
None of them are going to have a Toshlink output because they have their own DACs. I mean, if you want the climax of all high-res audio players, then that's the Sony GS9. That's it. That's as good as it gets. That's the benchmark. You're not going to use the Toshlink output because the DAC inside of it is what you're paying for. All right. So when you look at these radios and go, why don't they have Toshlink and all that? Well, because they have a better DAC in there, and they're assuming that what you're going to hook it up to isn't as good as the one they're using. Right or wrong, it's all good, but that's one of the reasons why they don't put those Toshlinks on the back of radios, is because you could actually have a worse situation. Like, it might sound worse.
Yeah. The Alpine 507.
Very nice radio.
And it has a high res. You can do that.
507 is pretty badass. So they have the 507, the 509, and the 511. They're all the exact same feature set. Mm-hmm. They just 7-inch screen, 9-inch screen, 11-inch screen. And the nice thing about them is that they all use the same operating software, and the new software is super sexy. If you go dig in the channel a little bit, a couple weeks back, we did a new Alpine product, 2022 Alpine product review, and we highlighted the radios along with all the new speakers and all that other stuff that they had at the time. We kind of give you some of the cool new features that are available on the radio, so it's a pretty solid operating system. The Alpine definitely pulled out both guns on this one and go, woohoo, rootin' tootin' Yosemite Sam style on this radio. So there was a software glitch. There was a CarPlay software glitch that happened, but I believe that has been fixed. It was only with CarPlay. It was like, wow, really? That was crazy. But should be back up and good now.
Jester, thank you. Thank you for the 20, man.
I was hoping that you'd all say all Ram trucks use similar ohm loads. I have a 2020 250 ordered, and the HK system came with the package. Giddy as a schoolgirl waiting for her crush. That's going to be a nice truck. And I will say the HK system in it looks really cool. Some people like it. Most people don't, as far as the sound goes. But there again, it's an easy enough to upgrade the stereo. Not as easy as you'd hope right now, because the 2022, the 2500 may be fine. I knew the new 1500 has a different harness behind the radio, but some of the 2500 still use the old harness, in which case it's just an Amp Pro or a DSR1. So it's easy enough to deal with. So a lot of the mistakes that we see a lot of people do with Dodge is that they'll keep the factory system, the premium, whether it be Alpine or that one, and they'll try to change out the speakers. You can't do that in that car, no matter what. You have to replace everything because it just doesn't work, man. The Ram we did this week, Fernando pulls the truck in and he goes, dude, and not the one in the video. We actually did another Ram this week.
Well, the blue one that you guys watch on Instagram. Yeah.
And it literally pulls in and he goes, I think all the speakers are dead. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the only sound I hear is this one in the corner. And I'm like, no, they're all playing. He's like, no, they're not. And I was like, yes, they are.
That was horrible.
Oh yeah, that was definitely like one of the, but that's what happens. And that's when we get them, is when they've, just like the one in the video right now, they just did a lot of bad things that they were thinking it would work.
Right.
They were wrong.
All right. So in 2006, like Dean, told you, yes,
replace system,
replace your radio.
Definitely.
Same question.
Oh, it's the same question.
Yeah. Thank you for the 10, buddy.
No, and there again, all three of those radios that you're looking at are pretty awesome. The new Alpine that we were just talking about, the 507, 511, 509, that has a really badass operating system. The Stinger makes the new dash kit that I believe works in your car, that kind of brings the high 10 right in. It kind of finishes off and makes it look really nice if you want to go big screen. But 507, 996 or 997 from Kenwood. Either one of those would be awesome. Yeah. You're going to want to do iData for your interfacing. So idatalink.com is what you want to do. It's right there, Tacoma. Oh, that's literally right on the homepage. So yeah, this is the. Oh, what did you do?
I don't know.
I don't know what you did either.
All right, I'm gonna go back.
I was gonna say.
I was trying to look.
Yeah, you don't need to. So there's like the new Tacoma kit for the 16 to 21. Put a high 10 in your dash. So you can find that at pack-audio.com.
What's their problem?
It's just a website, man. It's just a website. Speaking of websites and cool stuff, audiocontrol.com is filled with all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of you guys don't know they actually make some really badass, super expensive home audio stuff. But they make this thing called a Rialto. Rialto is a 2-channel home audio receiver with Bluetooth and all this other nice stuff. It does have a subwoofer output. But a lot of people don't really understand, like they can't get their cars to sound good because they've never heard really good 2-channel audio. You can pick up a Rialto, and I'm sure, there it is. No, that's not it. That is it. That was it. Yeah. Rialto. Yeah. I'm sure you have a bitching set of speakers that are just laying around that you may have taken out and you don't know what to do with. But make yourself a nice little set of home towers, a little set of bookshelf speakers. Pick up this awesome Rialto. They make the 400. They make the 600. And just kind of set them up, maybe in the garage, maybe in the spare bedroom, maybe in the living room. You can have a lot of fun. There it is. That one right there. Look at that little guy.
Sexy.
Super sexy.
It looks nice, man.
Oh, yeah. They're complicated, man. Those things are awesome. But, you know, just and the nice thing about that is if you're going to be DSPing up your world, having that nice 2-channel audio system that you can just plop down right in the middle of and listen to it, what it sounds like, then hop into your car and try to replicate that. Because if you don't know what good 2-channel audio sounds like, how in the hell are you going to make it work in your car? Just saying. Just a thought. Well, we'd like to thank Audio Control for being a proud sponsor of the show. They're the longest. They've been doing this with us forever. We're super excited to have them on board. Love their products. Love the guys. The team is cool. So moving on.
The whole thing.
A couple more questions here. How do determine how long to make your wire runs for everything when building an amp rack? It's actually very simple. Fernando, could you grab the purple wire?
Yes, of course.
Now, you don't necessarily have to use a purple wire, but we happen to have a purple wire. I don't know. Did you lose your purple wire?
I lost my purple wire. Huh.
Really?
Yes.
That's so sad.
It's always hanging. Wow. But there you go. So
hey, we found the purple wire.
No, not that one. But
this is the purple wire.
This is the one that we take it out of the C430.
This is the purple wire.
Yeah.
And it's like 20 feet of wire. Okay.
Right.
And what we do is we simply lay it in the car where it needs to go, up to where it needs to go, basically the wire run, and then you go over to the wire spool and you pull off to that point and you're done. So it's as simple as it sounds. We just pre-run the wire, find out how long we need it to be. Now, if you're going to twist 2 wires together like we do, then you're going to want to add like 3 feet or 4 feet onto it, because as you twist the wire, it will shrink down considerably. So 3 or 4 feet extra, whatever this single run is, if you're going to be doing a twisted pair like we do.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Now, as far as the power wire goes, we just use kits, Stinger kits, and Stinger gives you 18 feet of power wire, I believe. 18 feet of power wire.
Yeah.
So
F-150s, the new ones,
20 feet. 20 feet. Yeah. So, yeah, since I have listened to the HK systems that I ordered, dang near 50-pound Dynamat Extreme and foam sound absorber, Fernando, buddy. You ever think of visiting North Dakota?
Oof, man, you're going to have fun in that one.
You're also going to want to go to Amazon and order the suction cup window mounts. Grab one of those real quick. I don't know if that's on DNF Tool Drawer. It might be.
Probably not.
Probably not, because that's an odd duck. You can pick these up on Amazon. They're really cheap. And what this is these little suction cups, and they go over the top of the door and they stick onto the window just like this. All right. And the reason why you're going to need these in the Dodge is because you have to take that inner skin out. And to do that, there's 2 grommets that pop off, and you pull out these 10 or 12 millimeter bolts.
Yeah.
And you need the window to stay right where it's at, because the whole panel will come out. Okay. So yeah. And then you want the window to stay there the whole time you're working on it. And then you can put the thing back in, put your 2 bolts back in, and you're good to go. And it keeps everything lined up and super sexy. So
All
yeah,
right.
pick yourself up a set of those. You'll be thankful, and they're cheap. Happy 4th of July. That's right. Where are we at? We're done. We're done. Oh my gosh, we made it through it. Well, hey, I'd like to stay and chat all night, but I got luggage to pack. This is our last day, guys. We're on vacation. We won't be back. We won't be back this Saturday and Monday. So about 2 weeks out, but don't worry. We'll be back on Thursday, the 14th. I think will be the first day we're back. So I'll put up a notification. Thursday, the 14th, we're going to have the guys from Helix here. So Helix, Match, and Brax, they'll be here. The distributor for the United States and Canada, so basically North America, MSC of America, will be here. A gentleman by the name of Larry Penn and crew will be in-house. They're going to tell us about some new products they have coming out. I think they're going to bring them with them, so it'll be new products. We'll be doing this Thursday night at 6:30, so stay tuned for that. And the good thing is there's actually videos all the way up till then. That's right. I have not been sleeping for the last few nights, making sure that you guys have content to watch. The 4th of July is a holiday, so there won't be a video that day, obviously. But, hey, if you want an extra video, head over to The Boring Life of Dean and Haley. Haley's on point, man. 2 videos back-to-back. Vacation is coming up. I don't expect her to have one this Saturday coming up, but, hey, you never know. You never know. We'll definitely be filming and having a good time. Thank you guys so much for playing along with us today. We hope you have a fabulous day, a fabulous night. Don't blow your fingers off this weekend or Monday, wherever you're planning on setting the world on fire.
Be safe, guys.
Definitely be safe. That's all I got, guys. Have a good time. We'll see you when we get back.
Bye.
Oh, by the way, if you want cool shirts, DNF Swag. Head over there, get your cool shirt. You guys have a nice night.